Hi everyone, my name's Amy and I'm a trainee genetic counsellor.
Hi everyone, my name's Rachel and I'm also a trainee genetic counsellor.
We both work for the NHS at the Centre for Life in Newcastle. Today we're going to be doing a really fun activity that you can do in your own homes, all about genetics. But first, let's talk about genes. Genes are like an instruction manual that tells your body how to make you, you.
Or like a recipe book with the recipe to make you. Instead of words, genes use 4 letters to spell out these instructions. These are A, C, T and G. In our genes, these letters are repeated millions of times in lots of different orders. This is your DNA. In today's activity, we'll be making DNA chains from objects that we found in our houses.
The best part about this activity is that it can be done using sweets. I'm going to be using gummy bears. I've got 4 different colours to represent the 4 letters of DNA, A, T, C and G. I've got fizzy strawberry straws. These are to represent what we call the backbone. This is a strand that these bases or these letters join up to. And I'm going to be using cocktail sticks to join this all together. If you're doing this at home, please be careful if you're using anything sharp. Now this is just what I'm using, but you can do this activity with anything you can find in your home. As long as you've got 4 different colours to represent the 4 different letters and something to join them up with, you can use anything you like.
I'll be using wine gums for the letters and some strawberry pencils for the structure. DNA has a double helix structure. This is formed of 2 strands of DNA. The strands are joined together by the letters pairing up. So, to make our first strand, pair up the DNA like this. Here we have our first DNA strand.
Now this is where it gets a bit more technical. The letters will always pair up in the same way. A always pairs up with T and C always pairs up with G. Now, on my strand here, I'm using red as A. So I need to find my T, which for me is orange, so I can pair A and T together. Now next I've got a green, which I'm using to represent C. So I need to find a G, which for me is yellow, and pair my C and my G together. I've got orange again here, which if you remember was T, so I need to find my red to represent A, so I'm joining A and T together again. And finally I've got yellow, which is G, so I need to find C, which is my green, and join these up together. And there I've got 4 pairs.
My first letter was G, as I'm using red for G. I therefore need to pair it with an orange, as that's what I'm using for C. We keep pairing the sweets together, G with C, A with T, and we do this until we've completed our strands. C with G, T with A. Then it should look like this. To finish connecting it up, you need to connect the tops and the bottoms of your second strand like this. It should look like a ladder with both sides connected together and the rungs coming across the middle.
The final step is to twist the ladder to make that double helix shape. Now to do this, we want to take both ends and very gently twist it so that the right hand side goes behind the left hand side. And there we have our double helix. Now in this example we've got 4 pairs of letters, but in every single one of your cells you've got billions of these letters. As we said earlier, we've used sweets as an example, but you can use anything you like to do this. For example, you could use different coloured bits of paper with pencils to join them together. Be creative, use what you've got at home, and we would love to see pictures of what you come up with.
Sometimes there may be spelling mistakes in this code, for example, a C instead of a G, or sometimes letters may be missing, or sometimes letters are added in. This may impact your health. This is because this alters the instructions and can completely change their meaning. This is where we come in as genetic counsellors. We see patients that may be affected by a spelling mistake in their DNA, and we help them to understand what this means.
For example, in my family, there's a spelling mistake in a gene called BRCA1 or BRCA1. When working properly, this gene protects against cancer. However, with this spelling mistake, it no longer works properly, meaning that people who have this spelling mistake are more likely to get certain types of cancer. I saw a genetic counsellor who gave me information about this and took me through the process of genetic testing. This was where they looked at my DNA to see if I had this spelling mistake. I found this process so helpful, and because of this decided that I wanted to become a genetic counsellor too.
Genetic counsellors give people information about genetics and also support them emotionally. Here we've talked about cancer as an example, but genetics can affect lots of other things such as your heart, eyes, muscles and more. What we do depends on the situation. We give people advice about their risk, and we also put things in place to manage or decrease that risk. We also give information on family planning, and sometimes we do genetic testing too.
We're both trainees on the NHS Scientist Training Programme. This programme trains scientists across different areas of the NHS. When you think of the NHS, you often think of doctors and nurses, but scientists also have a key role and are involved in around 95% of all diagnoses. You can find scientists in all different settings too, for example, in labs, on the wards, in offices, in clinics and more. There really is a role to suit everybody.
We hope that you've enjoyed this activity and learning about DNA. We've really enjoyed doing this with you, and we can't wait to see pictures of your DNA chains.